Hello once again, audience. It is me, your boy TPT, coming at you not live and not from Twitch TV. I hope you all are having a fantastic, wonderful day, morning, afternoon, night, evening, etc. Welcome to the latest video. So, this video is going to be a little different from my other advanced guides video, in that this is more so going to be a updates and corrections video to previous videos. Obviously, quite a few of them have been made a while ago, and as a result of that, obviously, you know, there is some parts of it which are now out of date, and so I just wanted to sort of clarify a few things and update a few things, just so that obviously, you know, my guides at least tend to stay generally relevant. Now, first thing I'd like to cover is one of the biggest changes I've found, which personally is to do with quantity and economic ideas and their ranking on the leaderboard in terms of best ideas. So, first thing to note, economic ideas has been nerfed, in that the ambition from economic ideas is only 10% dev cost instead of 20%, which is quite a significant nerf. However, economic ideas is still the best administrative idea group, so that bit has at least not changed. But then the other part is the quantity, the big quantity nerfs. So first of all, the first idea in quantity is now only 25% national manpower instead of 50%. And also the land force limit modifier is now only 25% instead of 50% too. Lastly, if you do look down at the bottom there, instead of the minus 10% development cost that the policy with economic ideas gave, along with the land force limit, the 10% development cost has now been replaced with a 5% land maintenance modifier, which is a very big nerf as well. As a result of that, quality has significantly edged ahead of quantity as one of the best idea groups for military. So as a result of that, generally I would actually say quality is now better to take than quantity. Although obviously quantity is still a very solid idea group, it's just that is a very, very big nerf to it. And you know, I feel like that's important to note. Now, the next change is to do with bankruptcy building, from what I've been told. The limit, so what originally it was if you built a building and then went into bankruptcy, any buildings within the last 5 years would get destroyed. However, I have some bad news. Unfortunately, that has also been nerfed. It has been doubled, in fact, so that any building built within the last 10 years is now destroyed, which, to be honest, pretty much puts bankruptcy building entirely out of contention as a viable strategy. Obviously, Florinomics, you know, still works perfectly fine, but bankruptcy building definitely is a no-no, unfortunately, now, which is it's a bit sad to see, but personally, I didn't really tend to use the strategy that much anyway, so it's not like a huge loss. Now, next is the AI changes. So, since making some previous videos, the AI of EU4 has undergone very significant changes. For the better, I might add, that the AI has been significantly improved. As a result of this, the AI pretty much doesn't debt spiral as much anymore, like pretty much at all. It used to be a very common problem, but it's definitely not anymore. It's also generally improved the AI in terms of expansion, particularly with smaller AI countries. They will now expand better than they used to. Some people say it's like enough to keep up the player. Personally, I disagree with that. I still think the player can obviously expand much faster than the AI. However, the AI has definitely improved in this department as well. And then also, on top of that, the AI has become better at warning people too. As you can see here, like, the AI has definitely become better at using warnings to inhibit its like other expansions from both the player and AI as well, which I think is also probably a good thing. It makes the game a little bit harder, which I'm always for. I think it's good to make it a bit harder. Obviously, on the lower difficulties, it's still easy, but it does make the harder difficulties harder, which I definitely appreciate. The last thing I wanted to say was a correction on my latest advanced guide video. Not necessarily a correction, but just more of a rewording. So when it comes to admin points, they don't necessarily fall off in single player per se. At least not as hard as multiplayer. I know that there was a comment or two left on the video saying that admin points don't fall off in multiplayer either. That's complete bullshit. Anyone telling you that has no experience in multiplayer, at least not in a reasonable sized lobby. Like once, if you've only got like maybe like a couple players, then yeah, sure, admin is probably a lot more relevant. But any lobby over like a dozen players, you will be running into expansion issues. Once you get to around, like I found about the 1600s, okay, you do run into expansion issues. Anybody saying that otherwise is stupid, okay? They do not play enough multiplayer, or they do not play large enough multiplayer games to understand, okay? Because personally, I do not consider a multiplayer game with like 5 people to be a multiplayer game fully. When I'm talking about multiplayer, I'm in games of like 10 to 40 people. Which obviously, does mean the map is a lot more full than otherwise would be. And obviously, admin points do still remain quite important in single player. However, I still stand by the fact that military points are the most important, followed by Diplo, followed by admin in the mid to late game, in single player, in multiplayer especially, but even in single player, they say, obviously playing wide is a better strategy, but there have definitely been recent changes to the game, which does make playing taller better. Like the dev cost is still quite decent, as well as, like stacking trade modifiers and such. Playing tall is still definitely viable, but I would consider it a niche to playing wide as well. But even still, I do stand by what I say regarding, pretty much regarding points. I just want to issue a clarification on exactly what I meant, because I realized that I did word it poorly. But again, I stand by the fact that admin points fall off in multiplayer quite hard, around the 1600s. And even then, beyond coring, I don't really find them to have a huge number of uses compared to military and diplomatic points. Because let's be real here, base tax is okay early in maybe 14 to the 1500s. As soon as you exit that point, it's just not as good anymore. And again, I will argue, with anybody who says otherwise. Anyway, those are just the main points that I really wanted to cover. Obviously, just a couple updates and a bit of clarification on what I've been saying, in case, it wasn't clear enough. And I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Also, if you guys aren't liking this is my Pirate Republic Iceland game. I am streaming it live over at twitch.tv/TrinsplayTechIt. Feel free to check it out. And like I said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.